Hi, my name's June Morrow, and I help 9-to-5ers who know that they're meant for more connect with their calling so that they can do work that they love. So if you are somebody who's kind of on the fence about what you want to do, about what your calling is, you're a little commitment shy, a little bit of commitment phobia about saying, yes, this is the one, even though you know in your heart it kind of is, this video is for you. Because what I'm going to do is share with you a powerful reframe that will help you get out of your head and into action. So earlier this week, one of my clients asked me, they said, June, how is it that you have done so many things in your life? How have you continually reinvented yourself? And if you don't know my backstory, I have had probably about 11, maybe 14, 15 totally different careers in my life. I've done so many different things, reinvented myself so many different times. I've been I was a web designer for a little bit. I did some PR stuff. I used to be a stand-up comic. I had 2 one-woman shows. I wrote a book. I taught fitness for a while. I worked in corporate communications for a number of years. I had a videography company. I've just done like a whole whack of different things and really pursued the things that interested me. And so he was asking me like, how is it that you've been able to do this? And so I'm going to share with you the little secret. And it's something that I share with my clients, and it's something that can be really helpful to you. And it's basically this. When I decide to do something, very rarely do I ever look at it as a permanent life change. I'm going to repeat that. When I look at doing something and something is calling me and I decide to do it, I don't typically look at it as something that I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Instead, I regard it as an experiment. I decide, okay, I'm going to try this for X number of years, or I'm going to try this for, until I reach a certain goal. I'm going to try this until something happens, and then I'll reassess and decide if it's really what I want to do. So here's a good example, stand-up comedy. I decided I wanted to do stand-up comedy because I loved being on stage, and I missed being on stage when I was a journalist, which was something else that I've done. And so I started pursuing stand-up comedy, and when I started it, my goal was not to get on Leno. My goal back in the day, right? I'm dating myself, but my goal was not necessarily to get on TV or to get my own special. My goal was to come up with a solid 30-minute set. Because if you had a solid 30-minute set, you could get booked. And so that was my goal. I'm going to do this until I come up with a solid 30-minute set, and then I will decide what to do next. And that's exactly what I did. I went to open mics, and I worked my material, and I fell flat on my ass over and over again, and I got back up, and I wrote more material, and eventually, after about 2.5 years, I had 30 minutes. And guess what? I started getting booked. I started getting like professional gigs. I was opening in some places, and I was emceeing in some places, and I got to travel to different cities and do stand-up comedy. And it was all really, really cool. But always like when I was doing stand-up, it was kind of like it didn't quite feel like what I thought it would. And then I did a one-woman show, and I realized, wow, theater is way more forgiving than stand-up comedy, and I enjoy it a lot more. And guess what? I never went back to stand-up comedy after doing my one-woman show. And that's okay, because I got as far as my goal. I gave it the shot. And from there, I was able to assess, is this for me or not? And if not, I was able to pivot and do something else, right? And it's not that the stand-up comedy didn't do anything for my life, because the skills that I learned in that 2.5 years about, being seen and reiterating material and working with different audiences and falling down and getting back up and falling down and getting back up and putting myself out there, that's all stuff that I still use today in my business. It's stuff that I used when I went into corporate and I had my 11 years working my 9-to-5 job. It's stuff I used there, it's stuff that has helped me. So just because there goes the fire. There's a fire department near here. Just because you do something and it doesn't become your life thing doesn't mean you didn't learn anything from it or that it didn't have any value for you in your life story. So that's your reframe for today. Stop thinking of things, and this is especially for those of you who are scanners, polymaths, multi-potentialites, Renaissance souls, people who are interested in a lot of different things. Stop thinking of things as permanent. You don't have to marry your calling. Your calling is just the invitation to get you into action. All you have to do is follow it, is say yes, and take a step, and then take another step, and then take another step, and see where that leads you. Nothing is permanent. Everything is temporary. Look at it as an experiment. Look at it as a pilot project. Set a short-term goal. Say, I'm going to do this until this, and then I'll reassess. But don't get so stuck in the, I have to do this for life, and how do I know if it's the right thing for me? Because we don't have to do anything for life. You don't get just one calling. You get many. So if you found this video helpful, I would love it if you could like it, subscribe to this channel, and coming up September 14th to 18th, I'm going to be talking more about this concept and a lot of other reframes that are going to get you out of that fear that's keeping you stuck thinking about, what do I want to do next? I've got so many ideas, I don't know what to do. Get you out of that fear and into action in a boot camp that I'm hosting in my Facebook group. It's called the Choose Your Next Direction Boot Camp. You can register through the link below. You'll get workbooks. It's 5 days of incredibly powerful information that is going to get you out of analysis paralysis and into action on the path to the work that you love. You got this. Cheers.